Hey guys, how you going? I'm back for another video. Just on my way out now, driving out west to my location. It's early afternoon, so I'm getting a good start on the drive, which is good, so I can get set up and can shoot the Milky Way as soon as it's dark enough. Today's video, as you may have read in the description, is something that I haven't seen yet on YouTube, so this is what's prompted me to try and get this done. We're going to be testing out Canon's new Supreme lens, the 28-70 f2. It's the RF mount for their new mirrorless lineup, the EOS-R lineup. And thanks to Canon Australia, they've given me a loaner of their EOS-R body as well as the lens. We're going to head out west. We're going to go to one of my normal spots out at Lake Mulgrave tonight. It's been raining all day. It was forecast to clear, and you can see in a second the sun sort of hitting inside my face now. It has broken away. Out west is clearing. Hopefully then by tonight when it gets dark, all clouds will be gone. It does look like it's going to do it, so I'm feeling much better than I was a few hours back. But yeah, we're going to test the lens. We're going to see if it's going to be any good for astrophotography. I think the biggest lens any astrophotographer or nightscape astrophotographer uses would possibly be the Sigma 14mm, because that lens is huge, and rightfully so. It's 14mm at an f1.8 aperture, so it's going to be a massive lens. But this RF lens, to have a zoom range of 28mm to 70 and keep a constant aperture of f2 is just phenomenal. So it is a bit of a flex lens. So Canon's really showing off what they can do now with their new EOS-R lineup, and I guess the future for their lenses in that range, that mirrorless range, is like the future's looking bright. So it's a bit slow at the moment. Obviously, a lot of people jumping ship to Sony, but I think the Canon EOS-R body will mature quite nicely in due course. So tonight we're going to be testing that lens. We're going to see if it's worth any astrophotographer now or even in the future. Is it worth having that lens in your kit? We're going to see if it's got a good corner sharpness. See how it goes with its star stretching and chromatic aberrations and things like that. So we'll put it through the normal testing of any sort of astrophotographer looks at in lenses, and see if it's going to be worth its weight in your camera bag on that next trip. Weighing it at 2 kilos, it's a beastly lens. So I don't know, sit back. We've got a good hour or so drive ahead of us, and yeah, I'll see you when I get there. Alright guys, we're down here now, set up, ready to go. I have to mention though, you have to mind the bugs. They're out in force tonight, thanks for the light on top of the camera. But tonight we're going to be testing the 28-70, as I mentioned. The Milky Way's setting quite fast. We've only got a couple of hours left until it's fully set, so I won't talk too long about it. But down along the bank here of Mulgrave Dam, we've got some dead trees just off the shore. This will be our composition for tonight, and I'm going to be testing sharpness on those stars and looking at those corners mainly. I'll do a few test shots, some different settings and stuff, which we'll have a look at when I get back to my computer. Yeah, it's more or less I'm going to be testing this lens every which way, doing panos and one shots and maybe some stack shots. But I want to put it through its paces, and we'll see if it's worth having in the camera bag for astrophotographers, seeing that it's so hefty, big and large. But it's enough talking. I'm going to turn this light off so these bugs go away, and we'll get shooting. Alright guys, we're back here at home now on the computer. I've got an unedited image, one raw image straight out of camera from using the 28-70 lens on the EOS-R. You can see some settings I've done here. I wanted to make sure I kept the aperture at f2 just to see how it performs at f2. And obviously wanted to keep it nice and wide for my composition, getting all the trees in and getting the Milky Way just above the trees. By having an ISO of 3200, which is high but it's not ultra high, and an f2, that really helps light get into the camera. So I was able to do a 13-second exposure to get this sort of look out of one shot, which is pretty nifty. But what I want to show you is, if I zoom in, I will have to apologize. I think I've missed focus because not one star, when you zoom in 1:1, is actually in focus properly at all. So I think I've bugged that up. I think more of the trees are in focus, if anything, even though it's hard to tell here because this is a one shot. There's a lot of noise. It's very fine noise though. The EOS-R does do pretty well, and you know, when you're shooting these high ISOs, you do expect to see a lot of noise. I've even got a little hot pixel over here, but still I can see the gradients and all the hills and stuff. So it's, you know, it's, oh, was that a shooting star or something? The one there. Yeah, there you go. One right there. But oh, excuse me. So yeah, so up in the corners here, it does look like, considering that these are all out of focus, there might be a little stretching up here on the edges. But this is shot at f2, so I wanted to test the lens at its, you know, at its worst. So if you were to back this lens off, you know, to 2.8 or even more, you're gonna get a better image quality across the board. But I just wanted to see how it performed at its f2. I'm not going to bother going through all the settings with you and give you that sort of in-depth look into it. It's just not my style. But that's a one shot at f2. And then if I just flick over the next one, where are we? There it is there. And then now multiple images stacked, which cleans it up nice, and it's fixed up my stars a little bit by doing multiple shots, but it's still not 100%. I've done a pretty half-assed job, unfortunately, but you know, all in all, photo still looks nice, still nice detail. I'm actually really stoked with getting all this extra detail in across the dam and onto the next peak over here, which is amazing. So yeah, look, I reckon for $42.99 this lens, it's very expensive at the moment. I probably wouldn't recommend it as an astrophotographer's lens. It's just too big. I think all astrophotographers or nightscape photographers need is a couple of good prime lenses with you know, some fast apertures of like 1.4. I did try and do a bit of you know, inverted commas, deep space stuff with it, but you know, I was rushing against the rising moon. But look, I'm still happy with how the lens performed. I'm just not happy with how I performed. But I would say, unless the price dropped a lot, then maybe I'd say, oh yeah, not a bad lens to sort of keep in your kit. But I reckon if you were to stick with a 20 or a 24mm 1.4 as your main astro lens, landscape astro lens, then you'd be pretty happy. But 28-70 zoom range, I reckon because currently even I use a 14mm, a 24mm and a 50mm. I think once they release a 14mm fast aperture 14mm in the RF and a 24mm, then they'll have, and plus you'll have the 50mm 1.2 at the moment, which is that's a really sharp lens. So
I might try and get my hands on that lens and see how that lens performs. But without even testing, I reckon it'll perform really well. I've used it before shooting portraits, so I don't know. I would say I'd like to have a bit more time with it, but because I was rushed in the late season of the Milky Way, so. But I think it is a good lens, but I can't really recommend it for astrophotographers right now. But yeah, I'll leave it there. I don't want this video to go too long, but I'll try and get my hands on the new EOS-R that just got announced in between me recording this video and now releasing it. So yeah, I'll try and get my hands on one of those as soon as I can. And when I do, I'll make a little video about that as well. But I have seen other videos mentioned about it, and you know, they're giving it some flack for its price, which I think that is warranted. I don't think it's worth the extra $800 or more, considering that all it's giving you extra is some small software upgrade and a filter that's, you know, letting through a little bit of light. So, but yeah. Anyway, we'll wait till we test it, and I'll give my full feedback on that. But at least they're at least acknowledging that astrophotography is possibly a little bit more popular these days, and they've thought that let's release a full frame EOS-R Astro. So yeah, all right, we'll leave it there. See you next time, guys. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Any questions about any of this at all, or any other related stuff to astrophotography, leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends. Alright guys, see you next one.